It's a tug of war, battling to keep my sanity. Say no more, say no more. I love you, but I can't keep killing me. I look at myself, I wonder why you don't recognize who you traumatize me. Now what do I do? Pick up the pieces and go. I've adored the time I had living this fantasy. Now I'm looking for a way to better me, a remedy. I look at myself, so wonder why you recognize who traumatized me. Now what do I do? Pick up the pieces and go. It's a tug of war, battling to keep my sanity. Say no more, say no more. I love you, but I can't keep killing me. I look at myself, I wonder why you don't recognize who you traumatize me. Now what do I do? Pick up the pieces and go. I've adored the time I had living this fantasy. Now I'm looking for a way to better me, a remedy. I look at myself, so wonder why you recognize who traumatized me. Now what do I do? Pick up the pieces and go.
Oh man, boys. Locked in. Baby, we're so back. We're so back in the market, boys. Let's freaking go. I've got the Stream Deck on the phone, so now I can make this shit super easy. Look at this. bam, we're back up on the screen. If I got Jake with me, boom, he's right there. If I don't got him, boom, take Jake away. And we are set, getting better each and every day, just like our portfolios. Boys, how are we doing? Bitcoin's ripping, lots of emotions coming through everyone. The school community is popping off. Everyone's really, really excited. Just like we don't want FOMO to the downside, you don't want too much FOMO to the upside, right? So definitely make sure we're being consistent, not getting overly emotional, sticking to our rules. Very, very important. But there's also finally a breath of fresh air, and it really shows the power of making sure two things. One, we have wide ranges. We want our ranges to always be wider than we think. Because if you're trying to get really cute and you're getting greedy and you're playing, let's just pretend Bitcoin between 88 and 92K here, this tight little range right here where we're banding around, you're obviously GG. It's game, right? Like boom, you're done, now what? And this also addresses the point that it's very important I try to teach you guys, if possible, especially if you're planning to do asset to stable pools, a volatile coin with a stable coin, to make sure those come from a place of lended capital. And apparently I'm on the wrong wallet, one second, where, for example, the Bitcoin is lent out, 25K of Bitcoin lent out over here, and you're borrowing those stable coins against it. And the reason this is so effective is because my Bitcoin over here caught that, I'm not saying it's the craziest pump in the world, but it caught that full pump. I got 100% raw appreciation and exposure to my Bitcoin over here from every drop and every dollar of that pump. And then what I do is this debt that I've taken on for 3% a year, the debt I'm taking on, that's what I then use and I can move over and monetize over here on VFAT, right? I'm using that borrowed capital to run the pools. I'm using equity in my other Bitcoin, my equity in my homes per se, to open positions that cash flow me, get more real estate that cash flows me off each door, more income off each liquidity pool I have open, and that's the game. Paying 3% to get 103%. And not only do these assets right here in these lists, usually, not always, black hole, but most of these are going up in value as well. So I'm double dipping a little bit. I'm getting more appreciation here, plus my juicy APRs, plus 100% against the other wallet, but 100% appreciation on this wallet here. And this is just a reminder, guys, if you think this is a little pump right here, which I'd say it is compared to what could happen, right? We could definitely just start blasting to the top side. But keep in mind, you don't want to get caught off sides. This should be a lesson. Just like to the downside, we learn a lot of lessons on the way down. Make sure we're not going too tight to the upside to where it's just GG once the market moves up 5%. Right? This is where asset to asset pools, we have strong correlations, make a lot of sense. Setting wide ranges on things, that way you can capture lots of history. Like let's say like the Link USDC pool we have open down here. It's not like it's the most crazy position, but it's from $11.50 to $20 on this one, right? That's a lot of price history. If we look at Link over here, and again, don't just follow blindly and don't buy Link if you don't already have it. But if we just, let me get rid of this box mess. But just looking at all this resistance at the bottom. Long time resistance levels here around like $12, we could say, if not even a little higher at 13. And at the top, lots of sell pressure over here at these like mid $20 levels. And I've just got my range set right around there. I have a different wallet position that's up a little higher at $23. This one's at 20, but you can see that I was not getting cute and I was not playing down here in these tight little bands. I'm not trying to just do these tight little ranges down here like $12 to $14, something like that. I'm playing the long game, trying to capture a majority of the price action for years and years at a time. So GG boys, let me know in the chat how everyone's doing. Hopefully you're enjoying the pump. Lots of people celebrating. We have some guys like, I think Dan right here, he took a little risky bet the other day and he printed, let's see, off just about 3K, made 575 overnight. A little bit of a more degen position on this meme coin. I guess we can technically shill it for him. It's virus here, right? Okay, so definitely meme coin, not a safe position like I'm preaching over here, but it worked out really good for him in this scenario, right? So we definitely want to make sure those are small pieces of our portfolio and we're sticking to the winners that are going to win long term. And again, the backbone of this portfolio, which I teach inside our fast track, is that we want most of our portfolio to be positioned in foundational plays that are built on your safe assets, right? your assets that will win long term. You have your Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, these boring coins that aren't going to give you that 10x overnight. What's up, Chip? And you take these coins as your strong foundation, and again, you're just pulling equity out of them to then run the cash flow. That way, whenever you do get cash out of your pools, you get pushed out at some point. They've been converted into profit, and you can then pay off the debt if you want, or repurpose whatever these are cash flowed into. If they are turned into assets or stable coins, it'll be a little different what you do next, right? Hopefully that kind of makes sense. And you take those profits and you just are buying more Bitcoin the whole time. When you get cashed out, say into USDC, then you can pay off your loan, or you can arbitrage at a better interest rate. If I'm paying 3% on Aave, I can go lend out somewhere else making 6, 8, 10% if rates are high enough. So the game never ends. The game never ends. What's going on, Chip? How we doing? J-Dub in the chat. We are so back. Let's take a peek. Let's look at the liquidation maps. Let's see what's going on. I haven't checked this chart in a couple weeks. I've been pretty hands-on YouTube and not as hands-on the market, to be honest, just letting DeFi do its thing. It's been pretty chill because markets have been boring. So let's just take a peek at Bitcoin here and see. So we definitely just smashed through that giant $97,000 liquidation point. And a little bit of a gap up to the 100,000s, mid 100,000s there. Definitely cleared out all the leverage all the way back down to 89, which it would be a possibility. Which starting to, I wouldn't say I'm worried at all. I mean, giant liquidation points above all-time high, obviously, but these are still stacked down low as well. And so what I'm looking for is, if this starts to get super bright green, and let's just say like straight down the board all the way across, that would show me that it can easily just become a slippery slope to the downside. I don't think that's something that's coming for us right away, if at all right now, but it's something to definitely be watching for. Bit of an air gap here between 97 and $106-ish, $105-ish thousand. So definitely be careful, boys, but it's looking good. Are we so back? Are we so back, guys? Do we freaking make it? Did we retire our bloodline yet? It's okay. We're not reliant on these pumps. We have our cash flow engines working for us, right? We're making money. Looks like chat's in the way a little bit of this one, so you can't really see the APR. Hold on. Let's move chat over a little bit. Let's go. Let's do a little. Try to line it up. That's fine. Do a little something like that. Right? 104% APR, a little less than 10% a month. We're just cash flowing, right? So if you think the market's at a high point, and say you are theorizing we're going to go back down, these profits, these $42 a day, you can start stacking these as stable coins. So you're getting cash safe on the side, and you can then deploy those when the market, say it does retrace. If you are doom and gloom and you think we're going here, you have a game plan. And that's the thing. We can have a game plan no matter what happens next, right? And if you think the market's going to keep going up, well, then you want to be using these profits, this $42 a day, whatever that may be for you at your level based off your deposits, your risk tolerance, like we just talked about, right? With Dan going crazy, making crazy 3% a day, but taking on a lot of risk, right? Use that to buy more of the assets. If you think that we're going up here, back to break past all-time high, then you want to be using those profits to start buying more of those assets. Selling Pokemon for crypto, we back, boys. Thousands in cardboard going digital. A lot of people are making a lot of money with that. I'm seeing lots of crazy videos and stuff online too of people like just camping outside the store waiting for a restock, like hundreds of freaking grocery stores. It's kind of crazy. But if you're making money, is it that crazy? It's not that crazy. Heard baseball cards are doing really good too. So, and then just, I guess, in general, just gambling. It's got to be a cycle top, right? Gambling just going absolutely crazy. Oh, let's see, boys. Let's see. I just wanted to give a little market update, see where we're at. I don't plan to do a super long stream right now today. Jake and me will be going live again Sunday. I just wanted to poke around and see where we're at, what is doing good. If you guys have some pools you want me to check out or some questions, throw them out my way. Happy to answer a couple things live. And let's just see what's going on here. Let's see, what should we look for? What should we look for? Let's look for a little Bitcoin position. Let's see if there's anything going crazy. I'm going to filter this TVL real quick. Let's see. There's no way. Clickbait, 5%. Yeah, sounds about right. Curious. Yields are going to look really inflated right now, so I almost don't even want to shop just because everything's going to look super good when I don't think it's sustainable at that price. A lot of volume in the last 24, 48 hours here. How much can you make per month? I always say I'm estimating and shooting for 8 to 12%. If I can consistently get that. If I fail and I hit 6%, I'm still very, very happy with that. If I overshoot, like Dan, who was making a low amount on his little meme coin, and then it just pumped and he started making 3% a day off that, right? There's levels to it. If I can hit about 120, perfect for me. If I'm on asset to asset pools, I'm looking for a lower number. If I'm in asset to assets, anything 60 to 80% on like blue chip assets paired together, that's beautiful. Beautiful for me. Depends on the coins that you hold, 100%. It will depend on that. But if I can make anywhere, again, 8 to 12%, I feel like I am absolutely killing it per month. And that is excluding the appreciation. When events like this last couple days happens and things go parabolic. Not even parabolic, guys. This is baby pump, right? But as things pump, making money there too. Plus my 10%, right? And then it just stacks and stacks and stacks. So it depends on how you choose to use it, repurpose the fees too, but this starts to go crazy. If you're compounding this 10% a month you're making into positions that perform very, very well, whether that's through appreciation or riskier cash flow positions, whatever that may be, it really starts to accelerate and scale over time. And the size of your position. If you're looking for a monetary amount, again, without changing a thing besides adding a zero here, if this was 140, 150K, so you'd be doing $400 a day, right? It's 15K. If you had $1,500, you'd be making $4 a day, right? Which isn't exactly the most exciting thing, but that's still, I would say, good amount of money coming in, especially for only having 1,400 in capital, right? Looking at monthly, estimated 1,200 off this one, a little under 10% a month. Not exactly crazy performance, but that's just because I'm used to, for some people that aren't used to this actually is probably crazy performance. I'm just getting really used to seeing crazy numbers all the time. So something like a modest 8 to 10% is just, you know, it's like almost just boring. Like, oh no, I'm making 103%. So again, how it scales. If you only had $1,500, you'd be making about, what is that, 40 bucks a month? But if you had 150K, you're making, yeah, just crazy money. Crazy, crazy, crazy money. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong spot. My bad. If you had 1.5K, you'd make 130 bucks a month. If you had 150K, you'd be making, what is that, 12, almost 13 grand a month? Not bad. GM Justin, JRS66, can you make money off XRP? What are the risks? Yes, Justin. XRP as a native chain is not very friendly with DeFi, unfortunately, just in terms of like what's actually popping. Like, how are people actually making money? Let's look at some XRP stuff on the fly and see what we can find, right? And it's going to, VFAT hates me, hold on. I'm gonna turn that off real quick. So XRP, we're looking for wrapped versions, at least I am. XRP is a native chain, not a lot of opportunities on that chain itself that are very well paying, but we have wrapped versions, like for example, Coinbase wrapped XRP, right? Which what this is that Coinbase is basically holding XRP in custody, and this is a tokenized version that represents your share of that XRP. So that's how we basically, in the simplest way to explain, how we get assets from one chain to a chain they don't belong, but are still pegged to that price, okay? So something like, let's just look, again, these probably will look inflated, right? USDC to CBXRP, lots of volume today and the day before. So I'm just gonna poke around. Not sure the size of your bag. So again, a 50K TVL pool, not a very large pool, but if you're coming in with $1,000 or $2,000, you're gonna be a very, very small piece of this pie, and I wouldn't be overly worried. But let's just look at an XRP chart real quick. Do I even have it saved? And I'm just gonna go $1.85. Actually, let's use our little boxes. If you join our community, you get the GG group. GG indicator, my bad. And let's just go ahead and, someone was talking about this in Discord too, and I do this a lot as well. I use their GG indicator for their trading and liquidity zones. I use it to help set support and resistance sometimes if I'm unsure just based off my own support lines. So let's just go, I'm gonna look for this little box that's inside this one, 175, and I'm going to, I mean, you guys are probably really bullish on XRP. 175 to, let's just say $3. Let's stretch this bitch out. Whoa, too much. And I'll re-chat again in a second. Boom, just about. What did I say, 175? Oh, we're already there. Easy peasy. 54% wide range on XRP, doing 627%. There's no way this is accurate. This is inflated from the high volatility the last couple days. If this was accurate, I'd probably buy some XRP. I'd probably fucking buy some. There's no way. I would expect this to drop down. A lot of the guys that run XRP pools, again, XRP is a pretty safe asset in terms of how many people are all buying into it. I mean, high trust score. And because of that, there's a lot of competition. So I would expect to be competing to try to get towards 100% on that one, 10% a month, and probably landing more around 60 to 80% average. I would have to test this one more. I don't hold XRP, right? So I couldn't give you a personal testimony as to how this performs over time. But right now it's saying you'd make about 20%, not even, bro. What is that? Yeah, you'd make about, that's crazy. You'd make about 2% a day, which is not true. You would not make 2% a day. Inflated. But again, that's where if you were positioned early, like say you were already doing this and you're making like 60% a year, and these high volatility days come where lots of fees are printed, you make bank on these days. Because a lot of people that set their ranges way too tight, let's see what the active TVLN range is. Here is why, okay, we found out why, right? Yeah, I mean, it's not that big a deal. But basically, when people go really tight on their ranges, a lot of the TVL gets pushed out. It's just already a small pool, actually. So not that. Let's find a different example that'll show us more of a difference here. No, I want to see something drastic, or it just looks like. One second. XRP to Bitcoin. Let's see what something like this looks like, asset to asset. That's not going to yield you what you want, I promise. ETH to XRP. A lot of the boys run this one. They really like this. Let me chart this for you real quick. Free charting, free wide ranges for everyone. Let's see. And I'm going to go ahead and use our liquidity boxes here and go ahead and take a, what is that, 0006 ratio. 1 second. Let me just mark that bottom real quick. Ignore what I'm doing real quick. I don't have time for that. And boom. And then I'm going to go ahead and set myself a quick little top. And these are like 2 seconds of planning, right? So don't expect this to be like completely bulletproof. 00105. Getting close. That's actually just about perfect, right? So this is more what I'm used to because I haven't ran a stablecoin pair on XRP, but a lot of the guys that run an ETH to XRP pool, this is probably what I'm looking at, right? That 50%. I was saying 60 to 80% is what you're probably aiming for on that one, and that's what I mean. But this is asset to asset too. So you're getting lots of appreciation on this pool as well because you don't have any stablecoins paired with it. And again, as the market moves up, both of these are moving up together over time. So you're getting appreciation from both. Now, if the market just fucking nukes, you're also getting double depreciation, right? Not double as in more than you already would, but you don't have any stablecoins to offset the risk on the downside. Yeah. So definitely like worth doing. Like 50% on an asset to asset is not bad. I don't talk about it much, but I do have an Athena to Ethereum pool going on. It's on ETH mainnet, so it's expensive. I don't talk about it much, but that does about like a 50% as well. It's not exciting, but 5 or 6% a month on a good sized bag of that. I wanted to pick up some Athena a little bit ago, so I opened that. And again, asset to asset, ETH to Athena, right? Doing something like that. So it's just not very exciting, so I don't really talk about some of that stuff sometimes because no one gets excited over the 49%. But there is lots of money, especially with a big bag. There's lots of money involved with that. Let me see. VFAT is actually killing itself. 1 second. How much does your program cost? The information is free. It will always be free here on YouTube. I will try to give as much value as I can at all times. As for the coaching, you work one-on-one with me, and we do group classes every single week there as well in a group setting. And the cost, just book a call. We'll see if you're a good fit, see if it makes sense for you to even join it. If not, we will point you on the right direction, and you will still leave with some education from us as well to set you in the path to where maybe one day you can come back and work with us in the future. But again, it's like the value, I'm trying to give the value here for free on YouTube. I really am. I enjoy it. I'm passionate about talking to people about this. I'm very passionate about DeFi and crypto in general. But what you're getting when you're getting the coaching, you're getting the implementation. You're getting the implementation of actually doing it. You're hearing me tell you the same things all the time, each and every day. Well, you can, the information's already out there, right? If you're wanting to learn how to do pools, you can find it. It's in millions of different places, right? But what you're paying for, what you're buying is someone that is doing this each and every day. You're getting access to 140 other people doing exactly what you want to do each and every day. And you're getting the repetitions of like our group calls. A lot of the times I'm saying the same things. I'm saying the same things so many weeks, but it doesn't always click. It doesn't always click for some people right away. So you hear it the third or fourth time, the repeating of the coaching nonstop. You hear it a different way. I'm really good at giving these different analogies for stuff in different ways all the times. And then it clicks. Boom. Done. And it's lifetime access as well. So basically, you get me forever currently. And if we get too big, like I was talking to Jake about this the other day, because we had a lot of members in the last, even just here in January, join. It's like if we get too big, we might not offer the lifetime anymore, just because I don't want to drop service. I don't want the quality to drop of the coaching. I don't want to not be available for people and give them the best product that I can. But let's take a peek here. Are you still doing Sora pools? I just did one because the APR is quite good, decent range. I've heard some good things about the token and product, but still very speculative. I have, oh wow, actually, this little guy down here. He is just out of range, just so slightly. Let's see. Oops. Hold on. 118.2. There we go. And just want to see what the APR would be, so I can tell you. This is literally the same freaking range. It's just like literally like a microcent off. Mine's doing 83% right now. There's literally $500 this one, so it's not like it is a big position. So definitely, I mean, it's just a small little play, right? Have a little exposure. Supporting Kyle. He's so passionate about this. He sold me. I was like, all right, I'll support. Throw a little $500 in there in this portfolio, you know, get a little exposure to it. It's done well. Kyle's made a lot and lots of money. He's been very convicted on this coin. Done very, very well. What day and time are the coaching calls? The one-on-ones you would schedule with me personally, as far as the group coaching, that is going to be, we do that on Saturdays currently. And right now that is at noon CST. If you're in the UK, that should be about 6 p.m. If you are, you know, it just depends on where you are, right? For the Aussie boys, it's a little early, it's like earlier in the morning. What is that like? I think it's like 5 a.m. Some of those guys roll up like fresh coffee, right? They're freaking tired, right? Because we're helping people all over the world. So we're trying to find that time that works best for everyone. It is a little hard. I am about to implement instead of a weekly group coaching on the Saturday, been talking with Jake about I'm going to do he also does one earlier. They do an earlier one. They do a trading call during the week. Let's just show the calendar. Jeez, right? So this will just be for the group classes, right? So Bobby's doing trading. If you want to learn day trading, he does have that in there. You guys know me. Not a big trading guy. We do have a more general group crypto call. So if you're looking for what to buy type thing, or like how the market's doing, legislation, bills that are being passed, stuff like that, this is where these conversations will be. And that is at 9 a.m. here in the US in Central Time. And then 12 p.m. at noon, again in Central Time, that is where it's DeFi focused. That is where I am going into the trenches. We're building positions, we're building systems, we're cash flowing, focused on the actual DeFi side of things versus sometimes like these conversations in the crypto, the general call, it's more beginner, right? So it depends what you're looking for. But I'm going to add a Tuesday or a Wednesday night, probably bi-weekly call, where it's just a little tutoring session at probably like about this time, to be honest, maybe like a Tuesday at this time. Just so I can service people in a time zone that is a little less friendly to 12. But 12 we found to be the best time zone that works for most people. So, and we vote, we change these now and then. We used to vote and get that going, and then again, one-on-one calls, that is just directly booked with me. But yeah, pretty cool. And those group calls are so fun. They can go up to 3 hours sometimes. Just, you know, fucking lots of questions, lots of passion, lots of fun a lot of the times too. So, and let's see if you want to see too. I mean, again, Classroom. So this is one of the OG modules, and I'm thinking about dropping this, giving it all the way on the OG right here. This is like one of the fast tracks. This is like if you can set aside an hour or two, you get such a strong foundation through all of this. But this is where the pride and joy is. Boom. Like, lots of stuff going on inside all these modules, right? So, let's see. Let's see what we got. Not seeing any comments. Everyone's glossing over. Or maybe they're just super excited watching their charts. Let's see. Zora, I'll just leave. It's literally like just right on the edge. I'm not going to rebalance it for any reason there. Yeah, man, but it just depends on your goals too, right? So whatever your goals are, we're going to try to help you reach it. Again, that's part of that intro call, is just seeing like, hey, are you a good fit, right? We want to make sure we qualify you, make sure I can help. Because listen, if you have $300, bro, it's like the advice I'm going to give you is very different, and I'm not going to let you join. I will not let you pay me if you have $300. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to point you in the right direction and give you some advice on what you can do to make the biggest difference at the point that you are at. Market is looking exciting, Justin. You are right. I'm going to start building that new Kahoot quiz too, so get ready for that, Justin. 50-day EMA, so strong resistance here. Yes, yes, sir. We'll see if we can pop through that. Saw those candles meet. Let's see how some of our coins are doing. Arrow, still sad. Off-sold that a couple weeks ago. Link. My boy Sui coming back. Jay's by the dip. By coming back, I mean like barely bounced. What is this? What is this box? Can't get rid of it. GG. Giving the old lady some time. Missed 4 calls during the quiz. Dude, yeah, exactly. We got to do that like once a month. I thought that was one of the most fun things we've done in a long time. AVAX still absolutely hammered. Arbitrum. Again, Athena, I got some exposure to a little bit back. This one quite excites me. I was looking at ratios, right? And I was like, you know, Athena's been pretty exciting. As a stable coin, I've used it. Good yield on there if you're a big DeFi guy, like getting yield on stables, right? And I was just pricing different assets. I was like, well, let's just see, like, okay, Solana's a good price right now, but Athena compared to Sol, I was looking at ratios. And I was just like, man, I mean, there's just a lot of room for outperformance here. Of just Sol divided by ETH. I mean, Athena divided by Sol, sorry. Athena divided by ETH. Again, it's like, did I want to buy more ETH really, or did I want to pack on some Athena and outperform? And I wanted to outperform and just take a little different bet. And, you know, a blue chip asset to asset pair doing about 50, 60% for me a year. It's not something that I am. Token I'm most bullish on. Bro, that is such a trap question for me. Most bullish over what time frame? Long term, I will not tell you there's anything better to buy than Bitcoin. I'm just not going to tell you that. That's truly what I've come to believe. Anytime I've changed that thesis, I feel like I've always regretted that later. And over time, I mean, it holds true. Even if it's just momentary drawdowns, you can just see usually that, like Solana, you know, coming back down to the 120 each time, whereas Bitcoin's not coming back down that far. You know, it's survived very, very good. Get rid of these boxes. Ugh, get them out of here. I mean, 2026, you guys already know I like Sui, right? One of the biggest things I like about it that they're talking about for this year is it's supposed to be private by the end of 2026, which big privacy guy. I like the idea of the privacy. So for me, that makes me more bullish on it. But what I'm really bullish on, this is going to sound the most cringe and corny as possible, is myself. That is the most cringe thing you could say. But I'm betting on me. And so I don't need anything to happen, but I have exposure to the bets that I think are most likely to win. My Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, got some Chainlink, still got some Arrow. Like I said, I just told you, I got some Athena a couple weeks ago, or a little bit ago. I don't know if it was a whole 2 weeks ago. But I've got the conviction of the plays that I think are going to win, and I have those. A lot of those are set as collateral, the ones that I can, and then I have pools running as cash flow engines. And so I'm very reliant on myself. Very reliant on needing nothing to happen. And I still have big bags of stablecoins too. And big bags are relative, right? But I would say a good percentage, probably around 10%, which I would say, I mean, just monetarily, it feels like a lot still, but a good 10, 10% probably stablecoins. Waiting for something to happen, maybe a little more. Can't go wrong with Bitcoin. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, for example, one of the guys that joined our community a while back, like a week or two ago, we did his onboarding call, and he had about like what 0.6, 0.7 Bitcoin. And he didn't even really go down the risk spectrum that much, but he leveraged his positions, taking on too much leverage towards the top, got liquidated, ended up with like 10K, right? So that's a hard lesson to learn. And it's like, if you're not trying to squeeze it so hard that like you wouldn't fumble, make mistakes like that. But it's the same thing that happened to altcoins and meme coins. Those things just freaking banged out. If you had 60 grand in those, you now don't have 60 grand either. So it's just a similar story to where it's like, I don't need, that's the beautiful thing. It's like, what token are you most bullish on? And it's like, dude, if we go sideways, that's perfect. It's a different mindset. If we go up, that's great too. But then you start making a bunch of money, you get cash out of pools at some point, and you're like, well, now what, right? And something with Bitcoin, you get to a high point, and you're like, fuck, do I sell it? Do I actually sell it? And if you do, it's like, well, now what? Now we wait. Now you gotta wait for a drawdown, right? And then you just sit there holding all that FOMO, like, oh, is it gonna keep going up? You're just watching. But what goes up will come down. Just, I don't know. 2026, my focus, and towards the end of 2025 as well, is really just not forcing and letting it flow, I think is kind of the motto for the way I'm running my portfolio. And not listening to other people either. I quit watching a bunch of crypto YouTube and stuff. A lot of that is also just starting to become more on the inside of the game. And I'm seeing how freaking fake it all is. It's actually like crazy how much people are just paid to say. And I don't want that to ever be me. And I want people to win. I don't like influencing on asset selection. I like influencing on what's the best way and best thing you can do with your current portfolio. The most influence I have on an asset when people join my community, at least, is that I'll tell them like, hey bro, I don't think we should hold 100% of our portfolio in this piece of shit coin, which I have seen. And then they tell me they don't want to sell it. I'm like, this is literally like a meme that no one even knows. So it's just scary. Sometimes the things I see are scary, guys. And I just want people to win. Maybe one of the few people that care about their audience, like truly. It's stressful. If you think by proxy, I have probably by proxy, not even my money, by proxy, I probably have a couple, like few million assets under management. There's definitely a few mil by proxy, which is crazy, just by like people that listen to what I have to say. So I'm trying to be a good steward of also just what I say. Because that's why like I'm pushing lending so hard. It's complicated. It loses retention. People gloss over when they hear it. But when I teach lending and I'm like, hey, the best thing you can do if you have, I'd say once you start getting towards that 15, 20K mark, once you have enough capital that you can withdraw a meaningful capital away from it, which is why like I have the 25K here. It's like, okay, you lend out the capital, you borrow the equity, and then you throw that into pools. And that's gonna work out so much better for you long-term. It's just, it's really hard to explain because you got to think different people are watching this channel. There's people that already kind of understand DeFi. You've already swapped. There's so many levels to like how in the weeds you are that when I talk about this, a lot of people are like, fuck, this is going to be too hard, and they quit. I don't want people to quit, but I really want them to know that I think this is one of the best things that you can do to supercharge that DeFi portfolio, because you're just going to, it helps you be in that win for sure. Because if you go just pools without lending, you pretty much win outside of a super pump. Because if the market goes down, you lost less money. If the market goes sideways, perfect. But if the market freaking pumps, that's why I'm trying to make this video now. Because if you get that 140K Bitcoin, crazy event to the upside, let's say, and you were only running pools, at some point you get cashed out and it's game over. It's GG. Whether that's into a, let's pretend like, what's in this portfolio right here? This one is showing Cheeks APR. These are stablecoin pairs, right? These are all stable pairs. So at some point, when all these hit the right side, it's GG. It's game over, holding cash. Now, the way I set ranges, that's not a bad thing. Because I finally took profit on my link that I've held for 3 years, right? Finally took profit on some link. You know what I'm saying? But it's GG. It's GG. So just be careful. Make sure you're not going tight. That's what I was telling my bro. If we go sideways, it doesn't matter because we earn income anyways. DeFi is the best thing in crypto. Exactly. In chip, no impermanent loss. Exactly. There is impermanent loss on the 10K that you put in, but you're not getting impermanent loss on your whole portfolio, not on any of your portfolio, because your impermanent loss you're still over a 1x leverage. Because you got to think, okay, I have 25K, I borrowed 10, now I'm over a 1x leverage. Let's just to make it easy in my fucking brain right now. Let's say we're at like a 1.5. Okay, just make it easy. Impermanent loss comes out, and we can just say that at the end, when you're cashed out, that took you down to like a 1.2x leverage. Cool, okay, plus all your cash flow. And that's a simple version of how the math would actually work. But it puts you in a positive state of you made a lot more money than holding just your Bitcoin without even the fees being involved as well. And yeah, you tell your brother, it's like, it brings a peace. It brings a freaking, what does the Kung Fu Panda do? The Master Oogway, the fucking turtle. It brings a peace where you're able to just chill, okay? And you can chill more the safer the assets that you have and the more belief you have. And it's relative, but the more belief you have in them, and even if it's a meme coin, even if you think that I would judge you for it, if it's something you believe in, especially if we can monetize it nicely, there's some meme coins that you can set pretty good ranges with Ethereum and make a good income off of it, to where I would say, okay, as a position calculated, especially something you already own, this makes sense. So I'm not just anti-fun. I'm not anti any coin out there. I've just learned a lot of lessons, and I try to show something that just seems really simple, really safe, and you can still choose to take risks if you want. I'm not going to tell you no, but just make sure it's calculated. And if you do open risky bullshit, right? So say you do what Dan did. Dan opened risky bullshit. It worked out. It does not always work out. I can tell you firsthand. He opened risky bullshit with like $2,800 and made $575 overnight. Okay, this should never be done with this money. Money you're borrowing and taking out of your Bitcoin, no, that's a no-go. Never do that shit. But, for example, let's show up the better paying one right now. If this is making me $1,200 a month, each month, if you want to put $1,200 into something risky and say fuck it, or put half of that or a certain percentage, like a barbell portfolio, put a percentage of that in the riskier stuff that pays well, you could do that because that's not money you owe back to your Bitcoin. Okay, or fresh capital injections you could use towards riskier stuff as well. But just make sure it stays a proper balance of your portfolio, right? That's why even in a simple example like this, the Zora pool for me is still $500, whereas, Monad and Bitcoin and I guess Brett's, Monad and Bitcoin, they're 3.5K, right? Different game. Different risk levels in my eyes. And again, it's about you and what you believe. I don't want to change people's beliefs. I want to enhance their portfolio to match their beliefs in the best way possible. If you think the market is going here, I'm not going to argue that we're not going to 65K, but I'll show you how to position yourself to make as much money on the way down or keep yourself safe on the way down as possible. If you think 150, if you want to zoom out and you think Bitcoin's going to $500,000 in the next couple of years, whether that's next year or in 10 years, and you don't really care, okay, then you're probably going to be more like me, setting wide shit and just fucking chilling. Master Oogway is the guy I go to for financial advice. Yeah, basically, bro. Basically. And it lets you just chill. Just chill. And this scales. I'm going to, the plan, I think Jake said he don't want me to expose it, but the plan is in Thailand, I'm going to put together a larger one of these, maybe 50 to throw like 100 into it, or maybe something like 50 or 100 lent out and then the borrowed capital's thrown in, just so you guys can see a larger example, because a lot of people relate to this amount, and that's why we use that, and I have different wallets I can flick between. But if I can get a bigger one too, that would make things maybe look a little more exciting and more, because the yields have been down lately. They've been a little boring, and it's good news if 100% is boring. So I just want to make sure everyone's safe and wins and makes money and makes as much money as they can correctly. Because a broken clock is right twice a day, but we want to be right every day over the long term. It's not about what happens tomorrow. It's about what happens the next 3 years, 5 years, 4 years, whatever that may be. I don't know why I went backwards, 5 to 4. But you guys hear me. You know what I'm saying. I imagine that resonates with each and every one of you. And that's why you're here. I believe in making your own luck. I don't believe in gambling it all in one trade or max leveraging my shit and getting exposed. But I mean, you guys watch my videos, so you guys know what I think, and that's weird. It's nice to talk to people that they agree with my message and like what I'm saying. Yields go up on trading activity, right? So that means now trading volume is low. No, it shouldn't. I mean, it might start to taper off here, but depending on the pair, right? It also depends on how much TVL is in range and what's being attracted where and what chain the swaps are going on. I just said a lot. Basically, for example, the Bitcoin USDC on Monad, still 26%. You got to think, a lot of this retail action for Bitcoin probably wasn't going on Monad chain. You got to think, like all the normies that weren't already buying Bitcoin that are buying into this pump going crazy, they're probably not making the swap itself on Bitcoin. So keep in mind, it's like you're not making money off fees when an asset appreciates. You would still make money off appreciation, but you're not making money off fees while it's appreciating. You're making money off swaps. So you want to be where the traffic and the volume is. This is usually much better, but it looks doo-doo. So you got to think like, okay, let's go back to like the Bitcoin example, right? Probably something like Base Chain is popping off with retail. Let's just filter Base Chain, see if I'm somewhat correct. Let's find a normal, is this just normal? I mean, these ones look crazy. Let's find a big APR guy or big TVL guy. Let's go 300K. This one's bigger than the others. And they're not looking too crazy. Interesting. Is all the volume on the exchanges? Might be. Let's see. It's freezing up on me. Oh, VFAT. You're so quirky. All right. Let's see where we're at. Little mainnet. Let's see what the mainnet. 40K pool. Let's see. Let's try to take this to, let's go to all-time high. Fuck it. Let's just see. All-time high. What is that, like 124? We'll do 125. It'll be fine. 124 and a half. Cool. Bring this down to, no. Sorry, I'm just theorizing. Let's go to 85. Yeah. Cool. 85. 40% wide, 70%. Bitcoin USDT on Ethereum doesn't get much safer than that. I would expect this is inflated. The other ones didn't look that inflated. In fact, the Monad chain Bitcoin USDT was down in APR. This one is probably up at APR. You just got to think like a lot of the normie volume or even institutional volume is going through Ethereum mainnet if it's on chain. I would imagine. And sometimes it's more like a snapshot in time too. This is 67% right now. In 5 minutes, it might say 120. So sometimes it's just like when we're looking at something, or even I'm gonna make a video, right? I open my laptop or my computer and open VFAT, and I'm like, hope this is gonna look good for the video, because I don't know if it's gonna say 20% or 200%. So, you know, you figure out the real numbers when you've been running it for a while and you start to see, you know, because you gotta like think like, for example, Dan again. It's like there was days where it wasn't really doing shit, and then he made 575 overnight. And it's like, it's the average of what you could produce off of it. So you'll have low days, you'll have high days. It's just about being consistent. Let's see. I like the Chainlink pools. They say 80%, and then they drop to like 20%. Or not saying 40%. Let's see. Yeah. Just nice and chill. Nice and chill. Let's check the other one. APR keeps fluctuating every day. That's what I noticed, especially on Solana. And that's good. It's good because it shows you it's a service-based industry. If it was just flat and stagnant, it'd be like, where's this yield coming from? No way it's like that consistent. I think the analogy of the currency booth, you know, people getting off the plane in Thailand is a good analogy, right? It's like you're going to have days where a lot of people are traveling. Peak season, weekends, probably more travel than during the week, right? More people are probably landing on a, I mean, I don't know. I just would imagine so, right? It's just that you'll have days where there's more traffic. Times there's more traffic. I noticed weekend APR seems to taper off. Maybe late at night they taper off too. Different trading hours. You got to think. I mean, Wall Street's only doing it during certain times, right? So it's service-based industry, and you start to notice. And then if something starts to leak, and you're like, okay, well, the Bitcoin USDT, like this one, 30% wide, doing 47%. That's not bad, right? But if it starts underperforming other Bitcoin positions that I shop around for once in a while, then it's like maybe I'll start moving money over to that one. Like the Monad one is doing half the APR of this one, right? Now there's $100 in this one apparently, but that's the game. Yeah, when the bull market comes, so that's the thing. Like when meme coins were crazy on Solana, it's like, dude, every pool was just paying crazy. Just paying crazy. Thought I lost some earnings on VFAT. Must have been a glitch. Sometimes it bugs out. VFAT, I love, but it causes issues. And if you're new, it freaks people out because sometimes you might log in and it's just like no deposit. You're like, what? And you got to refresh your page. And then it's there. Or it'll say some guy sent me a screenshot the other day in our school group and it said like the fees were 0 on one of his pools. And I was like, just wait. Usually any problems you have in DeFi, if you like can go away for a day, it's resolved by the time you get back. It's just weird UI sometimes. It's just the way it is. The new frontier of finance. Couple glitches now and then. Couple glitches. But you start to learn all those quirks. And that's those things where it's like, I've dealt with the quirks with 140 people. So it's like when someone has a problem, especially if they can send me a screenshot, I can look and just be like, okay, easy, done. Sometimes it's super simple. Like somebody will be like, oh, I can't open this pool. I have my Ethereum in my wallet. What's wrong? And it's like, well, your Ethereum's, I can just tell immediately. It's like, okay, your Ethereum's on mainnet. It's not on base chain, right? And it's like, boom. It's like that easy. I don't know if you can see my wallet. Oh, it's actually hidden. I'm only sharing Chrome, not sharing the whole screen. But yeah. Like, that's the game. I've just seen a lot. Or like there's an RPC error on Sui today, so you just tell you to change it. Boom. Now you're back connected again. Weird stuff happens, but it's just part of the game. Pool and mainnet, ETH USDT doing 100% APR and 20% wide. Sounded pretty good. I would refrain from 20%. I think that is being a little, I don't want to say stingy, right? But that is a... Let's see, what do I have? You said mainnet. Okay, this is 41% wide, doing 46%. So that's pretty close because if you doubled yours, you'd be making 50%, about the same. So yeah, about the same. You can see if USDT pays more than USDC on a wider range. But again, I've been around the block telling you over time, this one's going to perform better. Because I'm still holding 50% ETH here. If you're going 20% wide, it's like you starting a 20% pool right here up to the upside. It's like, bro, I still have the same exposure as you in terms of up to the top. That's if you maximally pushed it. What I mean by this is like, let's say you did this. Say you did like, this was your 20% wide range. Oh, fuck, hang on, my bad. It's like, yeah, you're getting 95% now. And if you believe ETH's not going to go back below 3,200, it's like, okay, cool, right? But I even have more top side exposure. I have more upside than you on mine, right? So it's just, I've learned throughout my stressful 3 years, and now I feel, again, Master Oogway, where it's like, who the fuck cares type shit. I'm making money every day. Over time, up and to the right. It's the wrong way on camera. Let's go this way. Camera's backwards, I guess. But it's like, we're going to be okay. And I set something where it would look like, depends on your goals too. If you want to get in there and you're active, and remember, if you're borrowing from capital, it's not as big a deal if you go tighter and you get cashed out. Not as big of a deal. But I still want to get appreciation off the pools, and I still want to have as minimal management as possible and be in range for as long as possible. So for me, the 2,700 to 4,100 is like, what is that? It's like right here, right? My big demand zone down here, and then 4,100 going all the way up to here. So I'm with this demand zone down here again, down here, which is honestly a little low compared to what we actually did besides a couple wicks, but holding it here and then just selling out at the supply zone up top where we're just dispersing the Ethereum back to the hands of those who are in need. It depends, bro. So 10K a month in passive income, it depends because there has been market conditions where I could tell you that with 5 or 10 grand, you could be doing that. I have also, like this right here, this one, very, very like wide, low management portfolio. There's guys in here that they go more active, coins that I don't hold as much, or like heavier things like Monad, or they go into their Zora pools much tighter, and they just print crazy, like 200, 300% APRs. That's not me, not the way I built my portfolio around that. I don't want to chase that. I'm not aiming for the APR, I'm aiming for consistency and scaling over time. And I'm trying to build something to where I can, again, use that strategy where I'm lending and then borrowing. I'm trying to build this, think of it like the most big real estate portfolio that use the homes, the equity in those to get more doors and more cash flow and recycling. And because of that, I'm trying to be a very good steward of my money and not put it in things that have a lot of volatility or risk. I'm trying to keep it more with the really big blue chips. And that's just kind of the way that I'm angling my portfolio at the current moment. But I've also shown videos on the channel with Phantom Wallets on Orca with 5K that does like 5K a month. So it's like, but it's stuff like Fartcoin, and that shit gets nuked whenever it wants to. So it's a lot of risk with that, but the opportunities are there. If you're in something very safe and modest, let's just go back to, let's go to this one. This one's doing a little better APR. Yeah, let's say 50K. I mean, perfect. This one's doing about 10% a month. So if you have 50K, it makes 5K a month. Boom. Done. Like if you open the exact same thing just right here, boom, 5K a month. It's like GG, right? And so this scales. So again, you guys say I freaking glaze Grant all the time, but when Grant's got over $1 million in Bitcoin, and then he borrows a couple $100K in USDC and monetizes that, you can see that he doesn't give a fuck. He's making $1,000 days. Plus, he don't give a fuck. You think he cares if Bitcoin goes up or down? A little bit, because he's got $1 million bag of Bitcoin that fluctuates. So when Bitcoin's down 10%, losing a couple $100K is crazy, right? But he's offsetting that with thousands of dollars a day being made. So, and then when we have a super high volume day, kind of like the example I showed, super high volume day, he's printed like what? I think the record was a $9,000 day in fees. Record breaking, not normal, right? But crazy. What if this is it? Is this it? I don't think so. No. For a while, when ETH was doing crazy, ETH USDC, he's making 4K a day. Right now, things have really just settled in on about that. ETH USDC is doing, for example, we showed that one on the other portfolio doing like that 80-ish%. Stuff like Monad doing 120. It's like aggregated return of 120, doing $45 a day. Back when things were higher. Cast card? No, I have not. No, I have not. It starts to scale too. And then one thing I think people don't realize or don't add to the equation, which I don't add it into the equation in the front end. Like I'm not trying to over glorify what's going on here. I try to keep it simple because I want you guys to be happy with low numbers. Because if you start chasing high shit, because at some point, these safe pools, when things get really, really hot in degen, stuff like the Bitcoin will be doing 120. Stuff like Ethereum is doing 300%. Those days happen. Those weeks happen. And that's probably an exit symbol if I've learned anything, an exit signal. But I like to train you on these so those things are just an added bonus later, and it's not that you're chasing the 300% on Ethereum, and then when we come to this feels depressing, because this should not be depressing. This is not depressing. But what I was going to say is people aren't factoring in the fact oftentimes that, let's just say off this portfolio, this is $1,300 a month that you put into something else that has the potential to 2, 3, 5, 10x, depending on what your risk tolerance is. So you're not thinking. So essentially, let's just go back to even this example right here, where if we go back to November, let's just say the start of this range here in November. We've now had all of November, all of December, and most of January, and I would say we're still in this range, so we're almost 3 months of, even if you only had 15K, you've now stacked like what, 4 or 5 grand on the side? A little more? Especially because this moves, and Monad was doing a lot more at first, it was doing 200, 300%, now it's dropped down to 120. You're taking that, and you're fucking printing. And you put that in assets, and then we start to have these big moves, which again, this isn't even really a big move, but we start to get these big moves, and then that, let's just say you made, let's say, easy numbers, last 5 months you made 5K off 15K, made like 30%. GG, like that's freaking good, right? Well, now that 5K, let's just say Solana doubles in price, well, that 5K is actually 10K, right? And it starts to scale, scales and compounds. It lets you spend your stablecoin in real world like you would when using a normal Visa. So I already have solutions for that, right? And essentially my solutions are, I have the Coinbase Visa card, which they don't make anymore, I don't think. I don't think you can get that one, but I could just spend stablecoins with that. I have the Coinbase Amex, and I have the Gemini card as well. And both of those will let you just pay off your balance with crypto. I think I usually just pay off the Gemini one with my bank account anyways, but the Coinbase one I've done with the crypto for sure. You just spend it from your account there. So I would just send stablecoins to the exchange and then use the exchange balance to pay off the credit card type thing, because I'm good with credit cards. I'm not a psycho who's going in crazy debt, right, and not paying it off. It's like I just pay it off in full every month, and I could just send stablecoins to do that if I needed to. And again, you can do something like this. If you racked up an emergency bill, you swiped your credit card, boom, you swipe it, you get your 4% back in Bitcoin or whatever it may be, depending on which card you have. At the end of the month, you got to pay it off. You just send some stablecoins over, pay that bitch off if you wanted to. So definitely levels to the game. There's some solutions for stuff like that. I've used the exchange as my party to do that. I haven't used any other service besides Coinbase, Gemini with their card. I don't think I have a different one. I think that's my only payment solution. Outside of a lot of these different places that are starting to accept crypto, you just scan and you send, right? So some of them you don't even need that intermediary. There's also, again, I've talked about this before, but this is cool to me because I've tested this multiple times now. Bitrefill. So obviously going to Thailand, well, why use my bank account when I can just send stablecoins and get a Delta Airlines gift card or 5? You know, because I was not going to sit in economy on the 12-hour flight, right? So I had to send a couple of those over. Amazon I've done. So for example, I got this MacBook M4 Pro Max, the beefy one. That way I can edit videos. My excuse was so I can edit 4K videos in Thailand, right? But this thing is not exactly cheap. And I just used like 6 different emails. I mean, allegedly used 6 different emails and just uploaded a bunch of Amazon gift cards with crypto. So it's pretty cool. I just want safe returns, but consistent, like you said, but maybe small bag into risky stuff when I learn the game. Exactly. And so that's the game. I am trying to show what normal should look like, right? I could totally try to show you some misleading marketing and try to show you 500% APRs all the time and make that shit look crazy. And I've made a couple videos, right, where it's like stuff like, let's see, where I explain the risk of it the whole time in the video. From memory, at least, I'm pretty sure I do. But there's probably a video like, let's see, I know there's Real Results is nice. That one's nice, but let me see. Bro, I know there's one where it's like, can you really make money with just 3,500 in crypto? There's one in there. I'm trying to see. I thought there was one where I went over like my Fartcoin position. I think it's this one. I'm in the car, but I think it's this one. $107 every day. I can open it up. We're on stream, bro. Are we gonna have volume?
It's about $30,000 to $40,000.
All right, let's see. Dude, this was making 2.351% a day. So like 600%. Right? I was making $100 a day off $4,500. Let's just chart Fartcoin and let's chart Useless. Let's talk about what happens. Because Fartcoin didn't do as bad. Useless fucked me. But again, it's a small part of the portfolio. If anything, it's fun. It's like some people go and pay money at the bar and have fun. I have that position open, and if it lost money, at the end of the day, it's such an insignificant piece because I set it up that way. Like you said, small bag, to where it's like, fuck, didn't work out, right? Which for some people, it's hard not to just want to full port everything and like, oh, it's just got to survive a week and then I can take it out. And then it doesn't survive a week and then you're married and then you're fucked. And then it gets half your bag through the divorce. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, let's just look at some dates here. Let's see. I probably recorded it well before it was posted. 2 months ago, dude, there's no way. It's longer than that. It's gotta be like 3 months ago that I recorded it then at least. Because I had the car. Car got stolen November 28th. So that's almost 2 months itself. And I filmed this way before it got stolen. Which again, they found the car and it's still in the body shop. It's been in the body shop since January 9th. About a fucking complain. I just don't know who to complain to. I'm not that mean. I can't complain. I just call them once a week. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Anyways, 3 months ago, there's no way. There's no way it's been low this whole time. I had to have filmed this a while back. There's no way it's 2 months ago. November 10th. Oh, that's the date. Okay, bet. November 10th. So this is after all the excitement. I don't know when I bought it. If I would have bought it over here, I'm still fucked, right? But November 10th, cool. It's down, let's see. It's down like 80% because that's like what, 4 zeros 4, now it's 4 zeros 1. Bro, that shit's cooked. If you bought now, at 4x back to this price. So that's just showing you how down bad we are. So I don't know why this is so small. Oh, there we go. But that's the point, right? Even if you're making 2% a day, which where's my spot? 2% a day, you will not out-earn a massive drawdown, right? If you lose 80% because your inventory in this pool is full of literally a useless coin, it's the fucking name, it's GG, right? So I think it's $1,600. Now, mind you, it's paired with Solana, so this is less risky than just holding useless by itself. I think this was down about 50% versus being down like 80, 90%, but still down 50%. If the volumes aren't staying high enough to offset that loss, that it's like, yeah, I didn't lose as much as I would have. So, you know, it's less risky than just gambling memes right away, but there's still a lot of risk there. Fartcoin's something that I somehow don't think is actually going to die completely, but let's just look at it. I just would never want to tell someone, how'd you make money? And show them this coin. This shit's embarrassing. Oh, let's see. Let's look at November 10th. Let's look at before October, because I definitely had this open for October. October, chilling, GG, down 50%. Not as bad as useless, but I would not say your Bitcoin or Ethereum was down 50%. I would say your Sui is, so fuck. You might as well have had Fartcoin instead of Sui at this point. You know what I'm saying? But, and that's the game, right? Where you're trying to find assets. If you already held Fartcoin, then this is freaking GG. If you can monetize this shit, it's GG, right? And it's like, okay, when I see the fact that Fartcoin outperformed fucking Sui on the way down, it's like, I don't feel that bad about having a like 0.5% stake or 1% stake of the, like whatever you may be, of the portfolio, right? Like if you had 300K, well, this is like a 1%, right? This is 1% of 300K, small little position, and it's cash flowing you, cool. If you make 80% off of it, that's fine. If you make 300, 600%, or make a 2% a day, that's even better, right? So let's see, do I show? God, I mean, because if the yield stayed high, look at that, 800% a year. Crazy. You put 4 or 5 grand in, you make 40K a year? Yeah, obviously not, because it doesn't matter if you make 40 grand if it all goes to fucking zero. Safe returns, but consistent, like you're saying, maybe a small bag. Yeah, I read that comment already. And that's the game, right? Because look, you take that 1,200 the first month, if you just really have to get that itch scratched, be a degen, then you just, you know, put some of that in there. If you're making 1% a day, cool, right? Make $12 a day. Like, let's see. I miss this car, guys. I really want this car back. But I have a feeling when I get back inside this car, it's just going to feel like someone else has been there. And I don't know if I will keep it very long. I might go for a C8. You know, same car, but newer. Just to do it. Like, why not? Why not? When the truck got totaled, dude, talk about a bad string of luck. The truck got totaled by a drunk driver. I got the Corvette a month later, and then like a month or two after that, the Corvette got stolen. So everyone's like, man, your luck with cars just sucks. So might as well just get something else I like, and then when that gets fucked up, just get something else. Just keep fucking rotating. The problem is that when it gets taken from me, I don't want to get the exact same car. It can't be worse for sure, but it has to probably be the same, if not better. So that's the thing. The truck, I couldn't find a truck that was as good. There was ones for more money that were more miles. My truck only had like 30,000 miles. LT Silverado Trail Boss, souped up, right? It had the Corvette engine in it, 6.2, right? And I couldn't find the same truck that wasn't worse. Like ones with like it was fully loaded. I couldn't find anything that wasn't worse miles with the same trim, all the options. Whatever. I don't know why I'm blanking. So I just switched completely. I'm like, all right, Corvette time. And so now that this has been stolen, even though they found it, I have a feeling one of our guys in the group, he was talking to me about he had 2 cars stolen. And he was like, yeah, man, you might get in there and realize that you don't want it anymore. And I was like, yeah, you might be right. So we might have to just do a little, when I get back from Thailand, assuming it's finally out of the shop by then, might have to do a little C8. A little C8, like a black or a red one. Apparently this is the year of red because we're doing like the red background this year. Apparently, it's just how it happened. But like, I don't know, a little step up. It's a mid-engine, you know. It's definitely not a manual anymore, so it's a bit of a different game, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be good for YouTube in terms of marketing, but at the same time, I kind of feel like a fucking douche. But I don't want to get a truck that's worse than the one I had. So we'll see. And I don't know if I want a car that someone stole and ragged around for 2 weeks. So we'll see, boys. Enough about my car. But dope. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's people already say the C7 is a rental. And I'm like, why would a C7 be a rental? It's like, what, 8 years old, manual fucking Corvette? Like, it's not exactly unobtainable. So this would either increase the allegations that I am just lying to people, or it would, what someone said my C7 was AI. I'm like, bro, I'm literally like, am I not driving my fucking car in these videos? Like, I'm literally on the road.
If I
Like, I'm literally on the road. Like, what do you mean? I don't understand. It's so funny, bro. Let's see. This is literally me, like, yeah. It's not that crazy of a car. I loved it, but, I mean, like, look. It's like 8 years old, manual. I'm trying to get my face out of here. But it's beautiful, man. I love it. That's where the thumbnail comes from. I love that car. Just can't love her the same after someone else been inside of her. You know what I'm saying, boys? Anyways, shit. Well, I'm probably going to wrap it up there. Unless someone has some questions, I'm happy to answer if they are needed. Going to do the Kahoot thing at probably the end of the month before Thailand. Jake has not confirmed whether or not he's going to be sponsoring the giveaway, so I might be. And I think it'll be fun. Put that together. So make sure, who was it, Chip? Make sure you tell your wife beforehand you're going on D&D. You're going to be doing a probably hour-long Kahoot quiz with the boys on YouTube. And I'm going to try to make it harder. It's kind of hard to make it hard. I'm like, I don't know if it's actually hard or if it's just like stupid. So I don't know. The first one was a lot of fun though. And that one I just like slopped together in an hour and a half, just typing away. I like drank pre-workout, went to the gym, had the idea after like my first set and just left. So it's like, so I just dipped the fuck out. And I was like, I have an idea. I have to do it now. Otherwise I won't do it. So I did it. All that pre-workout pumping. And it was sweet, bro. Sweet. So yeah, maybe we'll see. I might get back from Thailand and decide that I don't need a car and then I'm moving. So we shall see. All right, let's test the Stream Deck. Let's go back to, oh yeah, fucking locked, boys. Locked in. What else we got? I can mute myself. Check. Muted. Yeah, muted. Go back to, all right, when Jake's here, just pop him on there. It's that easy. It's fucking locked in. Take him away. Put him up there. He talks shit. Take him off again. What's this one? This if we just chatting, bro? There's 2 of me. He's AI. He's AI. That one. That one's AI. I'm real. That one's AI. Another live. Let me think. I'll probably do another live. I'll be going live with Jake Sunday. Sunday at, I believe, 2 p.m. my time. I have a one-on-one client at noon. I will be doing it right after. And let's see. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of these little Wednesday night things. Maybe just a little solo stream. A little hangout sesh if I have the time. That or I film videos. So sometimes it's just easier to just go off the cuff. I'm off the cuff on all the videos too. I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't script my shit. So I just You know what I'm saying? Like, I just fucking go. And that's why sometimes you guys are watching the videos and you're like, it's kind of retarded. It's like, yeah, it's because it's just it's no scripting. There's no pre-planning. It's just always go through it. So that's why I feel like I'm not bad at the lives, because although I can't edit out a mistake if I like say something stupid, or if I like, because I talk too fast and I'll stutter now and then, so I'll delete that out if I say the wrong word or something in edit. But I just go off the cuff. And I think that's also what's really nice, is because we talk about like the information's free out here for DeFi and everything. I realize I'm not sharing my screen. We talked about the information, you know, with DeFi, it's free. And so it's all about kind of who you're getting it from. And I like the raw shit because it's like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not hiding behind a screen. I'm hiding behind a screen, but like, you know, I'm not scripted. I can't script a live. So when you're asking me questions I'm answering, I just like to show that authenticity, because it's like, this is what I do. This is like my job, right? So versus an overly produced, and I don't think that's the way forward anymore, especially in terms of like my business, in the business sense. I don't think the overly mass produced, like over the top production quality, because for a while I was wanting to buy like really nice cameras and shit. And then I was like, I don't know if that just feels overly done to the point where you lose like the actual like person, you know, maybe. Same thing with the C8. That's why I'm trying to balance the C8 too, because let's see. Because it's like, okay, I'm trying to decide. Does this build authenticity or does it lower trust? You know, it's like, what is the game? So trying to figure that out. But boys, lock it in. If you haven't started your first pool, just get one started. Use a couple bucks, get things set up, make sure it's with assets you want to own, and spend some time shopping. Because the assets that you like, they might be on different blockchains. You might find opportunities with different wrapped versions that pay a lot more. So get one open and then shop for other alternatives. Excuse me. Because how I like to put it is, you can have the same business. Think about like you own a McDonald's, or let's say Chick-fil-A. You own a Chick-fil-A. You can choose different towns and busy streets to put it on. So if you own Chick-fil-A, aka Ethereum, and you're getting 80% over here, you might find a different blockchain somewhere with the same exact business model being able to be monetized somewhere else even better, at a better rate, right? It's all about knowing like, okay, should I put Chick-fil-A in a small town with 10 people, or should I put Chick-fil-A in a college town where everyone is swiping every dollar of credit they have to get a fucking chicken sandwich, right? And that's the game. That's the game. Is there a lot of other restaurants I'm competing with? Well, I got to know that. Got to know that game. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. And if you guys have any questions, drop comments. I'll hit you back in the voice notes on YouTube, Clutch feature. And if not, boys, I'm going to run. GG. Let's test the back to the solo cam. Hell yeah. Locked in. And we're going to go offline. I will see you, boys.